All right. You've made it this far. That means you're ready for the shift. And chaos, the chaos part, that's the real shift. Hello, my beautiful warriors of chaos. Yes, you've been upgraded to chaos. And of course, the ultimate goal is love. But acknowledging chaos is the real first step, don't you think? The reason I'm focusing so much on this part, by the way, the reason I have the Divine Chaos series is because my whole life, myself and others around me, we've learned to bypass. We rush to healing. We escape the uncomfortable. We've learned to bury the trauma, you know, and now it's time. And I feel like for me, since I've been facing the ugly, you know, opening the doors of the prison cells, you know, opening these like Pandora box within me, it's been very challenging, but it's been so rewarding as well, because I'm seeing a part of me that I actually love, and that, but it's not pretty, and it's not with a bow on top of it. It's like just me. So I just wanted to give you this little intro, and let's get into these readings. We're first starting out with the chaos, and then we're moving into what's coming because of this ugly that you are moving through. And I guess it's more of me wanting you to join me on this journey, because it's so uncomfortable. It's very challenging. I'm very challenged. I've been challenging myself as well to be living in the nothing zone and to just allow things to come up and clear. So let's get into the reading, because it's a tarot reading after all. And before I begin the reading, I also want to tell you that as you can see on my channel, if you guys follow me on Instagram and Facebook, even in YouTube, I have on shorts now as well. I'm doing a lot more of that. I have like a system going kind of thing. I do soul drops, I do chaos notes, I do a lot of reflective content. And I'm going to be introducing a music portal where I'm going to talk about healing, music as healing. And of course, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the band that activated me last year, and Stray Kids, which is a South Korean band. But I'm going to talk about other music as well, so it's just going to be all encompassing. All right, let's get into these readings. I love you, and do like, share, comment, subscribe. Super thanks me if you can. Do whatever you got to do to help me, support me on this channel. I would really appreciate it. I won't be repeating this again, so I'll see you in your readings. Hello, my beautiful Aquarius. We got the chaos that you are confronting or facing at this moment of the reading is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, it says clarification. The Three of Swords is about heartbreak, grief, feeling like, look, she's seemingly tied up, but the threads or the ropes are very loose, right? And it's this feeling of, of like emotion, mental anguish, mostly because it's a swords energy, a Libra energy, which is your energy, my beautiful Aquarians. So something is overthinking, trying to figure out. It's you trying to explain your why. Why is this happening to me? Why am I moving through grief? Why is this showing up again? And the universe is like, okay, stop asking why, Aquarius, and let it just flow. Can you allow the grief, the heartbreak, the disappointment, the pain, can you allow it to move through you so that we can clear it? I know. And you're like, yo, this is the whole journey. I get it. But it's showing up. There's something that's holding you back. You're still stuck on the heartbreak. It could have happened now. It could have happened 20 years ago. It could have happened 3 days ago. It doesn't matter, because time is an illusion. So whenever this is that occurred in your life, some of you are holding on to this. And you are doing like Capricorn did, and you're doing like a lot of people doing in this in this readings, is holding on to these energies that are trying to release themselves. You're putting an imaginary rope around you and tying and binding yourself to this story that doesn't exist. And it exists in your mind. And it existed. I'm not just taking away from the existence of it. Yes, it did exist. But the moment that you left it, or the moment it was like taken away from you, or whatever the situation, is the moment that it no longer existed. But the only reason it does stay is because we hold on to it. We give it the energy to stay alive. So we wrap ourselves tighter in the bind, in the ropes, in the invisible rope. Because we keep bringing it back up in our minds as a situation that deserves attention, which it doesn't. So, all this to say, what's coming for you, your final outcome is the electric eel spirit. Bring your ideas to life. So when I see these two little cards, these big cards together, this stuckness that you are feeling here is holding yourself back from like new business opportunities, new love opportunities. You know, there's a creativity within you that needs to express itself. There's like ideas within you that are asking to be like shown or showcased or whatever, but it's not because you're still stuck here with an old relationship or just like yourself. You know, you're like, you keep harping on a failure of yours of like whenever years ago, or a loss that you've occurred, or a pain that you've, like a trauma, a traumatic event that has happened, which is something that is commonly done in the human world. We're like, and unfortunately it happens when, you know, like the programming is to continue to hold on to this traumatic event and work through the traumatic event instead of just seeing it for what it is and saying, okay, that was fucking hard. I acknowledge that. But at the same time, I trust the universe, or I trust myself, or I trust my body, or I trust my soul to help clear it and allow it to clear. And it's a constant thing, by the way. It's not a one thing that it's going to clear, right? So let's see what's going on. The Queen of Swords is Libra, another like a visionary energy showing up. The Queen of Swords is the no bullshit queen. I kind of like that she's showing up. It's two Libra energies, by the way, which are your brother energies. And the Queen of Swords is like, okay, she got no time to be sitting in the past. You know, visionary. She's already on to the next thing. You know, is she living in the future? No, because she knows that the future is unknown, right? But she's ready to like take this and work with this. The Queen of Swords is like badass to me. Like she's a badass queen. She ain't got no time to relive in the past and to you know, play the victim or play. You know, she has no problem playing a villain, which is still an archetype that's not necessary. She doesn't need to play the villain. Nobody needs to play anything. We need to like fully move into our hearts and trust the energy, right? So the Queen of Swords showing up, but this could be a mother energy, you know, a mother that was a little bit harsh with you, that maybe didn't show you love the way you wanted to be loved. This could be like a family, an older sister, an aunt, a grandmother energy as well, that, you know, was a little bit hard for you to grow up in. That could be very much the thing, the energy that's showing up. Could be a friend of yours as well, that, you know, or it could be you know, someone who you are harsh on yourself. You criticize yourself. You judge yourself. You know, very much Queen of Swords, right? But she's also a queen. Like I have an Italian word in my head, and I don't know, like who wants to, you know, soup it at it, like to overcome it. And she doesn't want to live here, you know, but she also is the Queen of Swords, is the sword of truth, is here to cut the ropes, acknowledge it. She's definitely going to do the work. She's not going to avoid it. So, you know, honoring that Queen of Swords that was in your life that made you feel uncomfortable or made you feel this pain, so that you can clear it, is also another way of looking at things. Because we cannot be sitting and blaming someone for our lives. It's like you have to be accountable for your lives, unless you're like 13 years old and watching me, but highly doubtful, right? You are an adult who has lived in a program where it's a program that has allowed you to sit in the blame and shame for the longest time of other people causing this pain for you. And maybe they have, and I'm not taking that away from you. But it's also, we're going to sit in this? Is that what we want to do? And most people would say, no, I don't want to sit in it. But most people don't know how to not sit in it, because the program keeps us in it. And it's comfortable. This is comfortable for a lot of people, by the way. It was comfortable for me for the longest time. I loved my darkness. I loved my depression. I loved being in a place that no one gets me. I love being in the victim. Oh yeah, man. When I was younger, I was like enjoyed it. Until the moment where I can't even play victim anymore, by the way. I tried so many times. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I tried to live in the darkness. It just doesn't work. It's like 5 minutes, it's gone. I can't, because I've cleared that much out of my system. I refuse to remain here. I do not want to be this. For me, it's like it was liberation for me to be able to like, you know, like love my version of self that went through this. I still love her, you know, but I don't want to be her anymore, because I want to be her. You know, I want to be the one that's ready for new, that's ready to take on the world again. You know, evolve without like this of the past showing up all the time. And when it does show up, she's like, yo, bring it on, bitches, you know, with her fucking swords of truth. Like, bring it on. You know, that's that kind of energy that's showing up for you, which is kind of beautiful. And this eel energy is, it is. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember what the next card was. Oh, the Seven of Swords. Wow. Aquarius, you're going through something very deep. Okay, the Seven of Swords. Here it says progress. In the original tarot, the Seven of Swords is an energy of lies, deceit, you know, dishonesty, discomfort, rage, pain, trauma. But it's mostly deception, right? Someone deceiving you. Someone that like lied to you over and over again. You lying to yourself. You know, you in the blame game, blaming and shaming others, blaming and shaming yourself. You know, that could be the same thing. You judging yourself, you know, criticizing yourself. The whole thing could be someone else doing it to you too. Again, do we stick? Do we allow? Like the thing is this. Is a lot of people will always say to me, well, it's not that I don't allow them. I said, but you do. And it's very triggering. Everything I say to people is very triggering. I realize that. But I guess it's because I love to be triggered more and more now. I love when someone calls me out and I'm like, oh, yes, okay. Because I don't want to stay stuck in anything anymore. I'm like, this is the whole point of my series, Divine Chaos, is to move through the chaos. I don't want to live in the chaos. 100,000% no. Divine chaos is moving through it, acknowledging it, seeing this shit, seeing what whoever did this to you, right? Whoever lied to you, whoever made you feel like worthless, whoever made you feel like you weren't enough, and whoever made you feel unloved, 100% acknowledging it, saying, okay, you know, and it affected my whole life and it affected everything, but I'm not going to allow it to affect me anymore. I'm done. Queen of Swords. You know, it's on me to make these changes. I don't want to live with that energy anymore. And I know, and I've said this in many other people, I keep that energy alive by giving it the energy it doesn't deserve. So at the same time, where this is that, in this card deck, this tarot deck, it's progress, which I freaking love, because it's you owning it, you seeing it, saying, yes, all my life people have lied to me. All my life that I've been in these loops, I've been in these patterns, and I'm not a failure because of it, and I'm not a loser because of it, and I'm not gonna live that role anymore. I'm not gonna play that game anymore. And I've done it, right? How many times? I mean, I have done it. I've like allowed like the dumbest people in my life to do the stupidest things to me, but I allowed it. And I'm like, now I can laugh at it. But sometimes it comes up and it like makes me cringe that I would have allowed that person to steal from me, to treat me that way. But I'm not going to live in there anymore, right? That's the thing. It's like, do you still want to play the Monopoly game, or do you want to get out of it? I want to pass go. I don't mind not collecting $100. I want to like leave. Like, I don't care, And the next card that shows up is the turnaround, revolution, the hangman. What an interesting card. The hangman is usually just hanging. Yes, Sabrina. Looking at a different perspective of the revolution. It's the same idea as looking at a different angle. So that's kind of the same thing. Aquarius. I mean, I gave a lot of praise to Gemini, which is your brother sign as well, in these readings of this time, whenever you're getting this, because I give praise to the air signs as we move in this evolution, because the air signs are more expansive thinkers than the rest of the signs. And it's not to shit on the other signs, because we need all the signs for us to move through this. The air signs have this very triggering. They trigger me. All the air signs, and at one point I would be like, oh, Aquarius, but they freaking trigger me to the point of like, oh, I love you for that now more than ever, because it's that moment of trigger that awakens me and helps me evolve and helps me see things in a different eyes, in a different way. Visionary. You guys have a different way of looking at life, but you also have you're a mental sign. So what happens is you drown in the mental, in that mental state of mind, which is overthinking, overanalyzing, over-explaining, over-judging, over-criticizing, over yourselves more than anyone else. And the Aquarians are very self-signs. Very like, oh, I'm the idiot. I'm the thing. Right? Like, I am the thing. You're a fixed sign, like a Taurus, like a Leo, and like a Scorpio, who's very focused on self, which is not a bad thing, but it's also, it can be very heavy for you and draining, because you're taking on a lot. And this like energy is showing up saying, okay, enough, right? Can you see the pain as progress? Can you stand up like the King or the Queen of Swords and say, like you are, and say, okay, bring it on, because I'm ready to fight the truth. Not to fight, but to express my truth. And I'm willing to see this shame and this failure with different eyes. And that's what I kind of love. And this electric eel is bring ideas into life. Is all of this is helping you move in a different way. Like, it's helping you see things differently so that you can express things differently, showcase things differently. It'll help you move into new paths in a different light, because it's not keeping you here anymore. So embrace the energy of new that wants to show up here. Less energy on the victim that wants to show up, or the blame shame game, or this invisible like pain. It's not invisible. I'm not taking away your pain from you, by the way, because a lot of us have experienced some very traumatic experiences in our life, and I'm not going to take it away, but I'm also not going to live in it. I choose not to live in it. But I am very well aware that one of my traumatic experiences, which I just had a conversation with my higher self, and they're like, absolutely, you have not cleared that. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I'm very aware of it, that it's going to come up very soon in my life to clear. I just cleared something that was 40 years old, people. So, like, I just fully cleared it. It took me 40 freaking years to clear that. So, yeah, of course, what happened recently 7-9 years ago is still going to come up to clear, and it's okay, but I'm ready for it. And I wasn't ready for it like 30, 20, 10 years ago, because I probably was still in a victim state or a blame state. A lot of my trauma is all about blaming myself, or blaming God, or blaming source. And that's okay. And that's a place, because when you're blaming God, you're just blaming something outside of you, right? Because you don't want to blame yourself. So first you have to blame the external before you blame yourself. And then you have to clear both of them, right? Because there's no blame here. It's just an experience. Anyways, I'm going to leave you here, Aquarius. I can go on and on and on. I love, love, love you. This is like a very powerful reading. If ever you want to like explore this a little bit more, you can book a session with me. And, what you see is what you get with me. I'm very open, transparent, and loving, and in a safe space as well. So I love, love, love you, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.